Good evening, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your metal market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Monday, the 15th of September, 2025. Time about 6:15 p.m. Central Time. Well, gold's pretty steady tonight, but it put on a nice gain today. You know, in the morning subscriber video that I do, and that's one for the subscribers of mine that we do at about 6 in the morning, I was telling people, I said, this market looks to me as though it's going to get bought on the break, and it did. I don't like going into government reports by adding positions right in front of them. I've been burned too many times, so I wait on that. But it's certainly the event that occurred. You came back up and look at the silver market. Silver is now pushing the 43.15 level. Copper, 472. So the market is seeing that there's demand for the metals. It's accepting the fact, in my opinion, you've got inflation. It's not being tamed down at this point in time. The tariff talk isn't dampening demand here. The stock market has overcome, to a degree, the tariffs, and that is because you've gone on to new highs in many of them. The problem I have is, will there be some event that stares us in the face and we go, there was the buy the rumor, sell the fact, or the market's rallied on that whole event, and now you're getting some profit taking that it's actually occurred. And that event that could be the one is the Fed kicking off the rate cutting cycle this coming Wednesday. Tomorrow we begin the two-day FOMC meeting, and from there we get the widely expected quarter point cut. Some people think 50. I'm in the camp of a quarter. But if the fundamentals stay just as they are, no worse, I think the Fed can go every meeting the rest of this year, 2025, for a total of 3 cuts. But I think they'll do it gradually, and they'll look to see what's it doing to inflation, because over their shoulder, they've got to be looking at those numbers and saying they've been gradually going up, they're not out of control, but we don't want to we don't want to fan the fire of inflation. That's what I was trying to say. Energy is very stable, and again, you know, all we keep hearing is that President Trump is not going to go it alone and hit China with tariffs because they're buying Russian oil. If Europe wants to lead the parade, he's in favor of that. I don't believe that they'll do that. That's the problem. And that's keeping oil, if you will. Now it's got to look and say, is it going to be too much supply? Bonds and notes pretty stable right here. Let's take a look, if we could, at news tomorrow. You're going to get the Import-Export Price Index data. That comes out at 7:30. Red Book is going to come out with retail sales. They've been running 6.25%, 6.5% now for almost 4 weeks running. The Federal Reserve will release their monthly industrial production and capacity utilization at 8:15. National Association of Home Builders, they're going to have their monthly market housing index coming out. And the U.S. July business inventory report will come out at 9. So there's a lot of reports here. But the big one, and I think you realize that, is Wednesday's FOMC report. So let's take a look and see just how the metal markets have done. In the gold, if you were to finish here, you'd be at an all-time high. For the week so far, you're up 1.1%. The market cleared the old high that it made. It was in a consolidation. It's trying to say it can come out of it to the upside. The pattern is one of higher lows and higher highs. Now, you had an outside day up today, and that was this big move. Now, tonight, you've got an inside day. You haven't taken out Monday's high or not as the markets reopen. You don't want to see today's lows taken out. If they are, it could be a sign this market wants to step back and give you at least a pause and maybe a correction. That's how I'm reading it. 18-day average keeps climbing every day. The Bollinger Band is far away at the 3811 zone. I've seen brokerage firm after brokerage firm come out with targets of 3,800 to 4,000 for the year, but nothing goes straight. You know, could it? It could, but I don't expect that that's the case. And you have the embedded reading. So even if you take out this low, Until you break this down and it gets under 79, I don't expect a lot of a correction. But because you've just come from 3,400 and you're now pushing 37.18, I think that you got to, in some manner, figure out where you're going to lock in some of your profit. In the gold-silver ratio, it is staying under the 18-day average, which favors the silver. Unlike the gold, silver did not have that swing with the outside day. So I'll just pay attention to when it loses the embedded reading. But here the market's running. Could it get up to the upper band of 43.86? It's always possible. Finally, in copper, we're getting more and more of a trading pattern. Remember, I've gotten rid of all this noise back here because so much of it had to do with the Trump first the tariffs on the copper. Then we get the fact of the copper no tariffs. Then we had created a squeeze play for some of the contracts at the COMEX, and that was coming out of London. You got rid of all that. There was a lot going on back there. Now you're getting back to more normal trade. You are a bit overbought. Platinum is in an uptrend. Resistance is 1443. Support, as I see it, 1384.5. And in the dollar, you keep breaking down, getting to these lows of the Bollinger Band and bouncing away. So far, you've had nothing that is sustaining a move up or down. This all began back here early August, and you've really gone up, you've gone down, but you've gone nowhere in the process, and you keep cycling back to the 18-day average. Are we trending? I see a higher high and a lower low and an oversold market. Doesn't mean it can't break from here, but that's what I'm seeing. So it's going to be exciting in the next 48 hours. To keep up with what we do, how we do it, what we write about it, all you need to do is move your cursor to the top here. You'll see an icon. It'll take you to our free offer. Sign up for the newsletters. Sign up for the charts of the day, the price counts. I think you'll want to see those. Sign up for this charting software. You can also do it by going to iraepstein.com, free offers. With that, I'm Ira. I'll see you in the other videos tonight or first thing in the morning as we review what those reports do to the market. I'm Ira. Have a good trading day.